Do you want some suggestion? Nocturne, Cogmore and Cassadin. Edit, I almost forgot, I love your art style.
Perfect. Hello, welcome back to Redesigning League Champions. Today we're doing Nocturne, the Eternal Nightmare. For the 6 months I've been on hiatus, I pondered over and over Nocturne's design and wondered, what the hell can I even do here? Honestly, I would just slap on a hood and call it a day. Or maybe that's just your lack of imagination peeking through. So I went through 1,000 bajillion designs of what I could do when a brilliant idea popped up in my head. What if he had feet? Just hear me out. Now I know, I realized it even before I started drawing, that he just may end up looking like Omen from Valorant. Which is precisely why I want to point it out right now before y'all butcher me in the comments like, you literally just drew Omen but League of Legends edition. Fake news, fake art, uncreative as fuck. I'm just kidding. I know you all love me and wouldn't do that though. Would you? So essentially, I wanted Nocturne to portray a physical manifestation of nightmares, which is more or less said in his lore itself. Now, the way I wanted to portray Nocturne was more in like a human form, which I'm gonna explain in a bit. Basically, if you guys know those quotes like, I stopped fearing monsters under my bed when I realized monsters in my head, something like that, well, that's basically why I chose Nocturne to look more like an ominous, humanoid, hooded-like looking figure, which resembles common human fears, like perhaps a felon or a thief. Essentially, I wanted Nocturne to be sort of like an omen, see what I did there? A reminder to mankind that we're actually really fucked up. So once I got the body mostly figured out, I went on to make some blade designs, several of them. I sort of had a more simplistic blade design in mind, but I also wanted them to resemble Nocturne's original blades. Now for the body, I wanted Nocturne to be looking sort of roguelike. I really liked this idea I had in mind to cover his body in like bandages that contain the darkness within, which spills over in places, unraveling to show his true form, and yeah, you get it. I really considered giving him some sort of armor, which he previously had, but nothing seemed to stick, so yeah, I just kept it boring and simple, but I think you guys could forgive me on that. So a couple hours and dedicated work later, boom! I had a seemingly feasible, easy design, which I also tested out in League's 3D world, and found it pretty satisfactory. Now, it's time for abilities. What, you seriously thought I was just gonna pop some feet on and be done with him? Well, we're not done yet with this video. Since I've given Nocturne a completely new look, it would be only fitting if he got a new set of abilities. I've basically taken Nocturne's existing abilities, swapped them around, and added some new ones. First up, we have Nocturne's passive Shroud, not to be mistaken with the popular Twitch streamer of the same name. Similar to Evelyn, Nocturne turns into a shroud after a few seconds, where he is indeed visible, but has increased movement speed and can pass for units. Attacking exits the shroud form. Next up is Nocturne's Q, Duskbringer, which is basically his old Q with a fancy new look. Duskbringer sends a giant claw hurtling towards the enemy, dealing damage and leaving a Dusk Trail. Entering the trail automatically triggers Nocturne's passive, and he also becomes invisible. Similarly, Tawakali hides in her smoke bomb. If the enemy is hit, moving away spreads the trail, allowing Nocturne to freely stalk his prey unnoticed. Similarly, any enemy that passes through further spreads the trail. Of course, attacking makes him visible, unless he stays in the trail, where he can return to the darkness and hide once again. Also, casting it through a wall makes it passable. Someone's gonna hate me for this, I swear to God. Next we have Umbra Blades, Nocturne's W. Umbra Blades is an AoE attack that deals damage and slightly heals Nocturne, and leaves enemies bleeding for a few seconds. Just combine Renekton's Q and Darius' W and voila, Umbra Blades. Next up is Petrify. This one is practically the same as his old ability, just that I made it into an instant skill shot rather than a delayed point and click. Basically, Nocturne sends a blast of fear towards his target, where if hit, the target receives damage and gets feared for a few seconds. And lastly, we have Nocturne's ultimate, Eternal Nightmare. Eternal Nightmare basically stayed the same, just that I added some damage and increased attack speed on impact. Now, per regular Redesigning League Champion fashion, let's roll the final showcase, shall we?
Are you my nightmare? Or am I yours?
Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you have any champion you'd like redesigned in my videos, feel free to comment below. You could also join my Discord if you'd like to hang out sometime, or catch some of my streams on Twitch. Links to all my socials are provided on my channel if you're interested, and without further ado, I'll see you in the next video.